Welcome back to Math 103. This is video number 7 on apportionment. Our question last time was, can Hamilton's method ever violate the quota rule? Or can it never violate the quota rule? As it turns out, it never violates the quota rule. It cannot give a state any fewer seats than its lower quota. It starts out giving every state its lower quota, so it's engineered to never give anything less than the lower quota. And how about the upper quota? Well, it never gives any bonus larger than 1. Right? So some states receive their lower quota and that's it. Other states get 1 surplus seat and that's all, so they're getting their upper quota. Either way, each state gets either its lower quota or its upper quota, which means that the quota rule is always observed by Hamilton's method. Great! So we figured out something good about Hamilton's method. We found one of its advantages. It never violates the quota rule. Right? Now, it will have its disadvantages, and we're getting to that next, but one argument in favor of Hamilton's approach is that there are no quota rule violations. To appreciate what can go wrong with Hamilton's method, let's look at a new example, similar to the old one, but now we suppose that some time has gone by, and the total population in New England, that is, Red Sox territory in our example, has risen to 17 million, and the populations are as follows, as indicated in this table. If you believe me, you can just trust that I've computed the standard quotas correctly, but you are also welcome for practice to make sure that these are being computed correctly based on 37 seats. Right? So the premise here is the populations have gone up, but they've decided to have an increased number of seats as well. The resulting standard quotas are listed here, and you can check these for practice if you wish. Now we can go and find the Hamilton apportionment. We have everything in front of us that we need. As we get experienced, we learn to do this faster, so we start out with 15 as lower quota, 8, 4, 3, 3, and 2. So those are all the lower quotas. We start out giving out that many seats to everybody. So we add up, and it turns out that we've just given out 35 seats initially. That means that there are 2 surplus seats. Well, which are the 2 most deserving recipients of surplus seats? Lo and behold, they are New Hampshire and Maine this time. Notice, by the way, that standard rounding would have rounded up only one of these states. Okay, and we need to round 2 of them up. So this is another example where standard rounding wouldn't have done the job. It would not have given us a proper apportionment. So we really needed something else. Now, according to Hamilton, we add 1 each to Maine and New Hampshire. So Maine ends up with 5 seats, New Hampshire ends up with 4. So congratulations, there's your Hamilton apportionment. So why did we look at this particular example? We already practiced Hamilton's method. The purpose was to contrast this example with a follow-up. Suppose we take these very same populations, we take the 37 seats we've been working with, and we throw in 1 extra seat. So how does it change things if we throw in 1 extra seat? Suppose that 37 was just sort of an arbitrary suggestion, and somebody else suggests, well, how about 38? What happens if we have 38 seats? In other words, what's the impact of having an apportionment of 37 seats and adding in 1 extra seat? What happens? So again, I will ask you to either trust me that I've computed the standard quotas correctly, or, if you wish, for practice, go and make sure that you come up with these same numbers, recompute these yourself, based on the new populations and 38 seats. So what is the Hamilton apportionment now? Great, we're getting to be experts at this. We start out writing in the lower quota for each state, and then we go and we circle those decimal parts that are the 2 largest. Why the 2 largest? It just so happens that the lower quotas add up to 36, which is 2 short of 38, and so there will be 2 surplus seats. Very well, that means that now it's Massachusetts and Connecticut which are receiving surplus seats. Okay, great. We added one extra seat. We redid all the computations. Now what? Before going on to the next video, compare the Hamilton apportionments for 37 seats and for 38 seats. The old apportionment and the new apportionment with one extra seat. Stare at these numbers, compare and contrast, and see what do you notice. I claim that something bizarre has happened, and somebody's going to be outraged. One of these states is going to be really mad. So tell me which state that is and why.